Welcome to Home and Away, a Tottenham Hotspur podcast hosted by myself, Graham Spice, and Glen Cowie, where we talk about all things Tottenham Hotspur with both the match attending and international supporters view. This episode will be covering the Burnley game from Saturday. We'll be previewing the Frankfurt match tomorrow evening, and we'll take a look at the transfer news in the last week of the window that we're currently in. A lot to get through. Let's get into it.
Let me be the one that you turn to, someone you can rely on, closer each day, home and away.
Glenn, are you good?
Yeah, I'm pretty good, mate. Pretty good. As I was saying off air, we've done Melbourne things in the last kind of 36 hours. We've cooled down from 46 degrees to 20 degrees, which is
Quite some change.
yeah, quite some change, which is always welcome. But I'm well, broadly okay, mate. Yeah, not too sure what to make of that Burnley result. But before we get into that, how are you, mate? You going well? You had a good day?
Yeah, pretty good. Just normal work week. Yeah, we're still reeling a bit from the weekend. I mean, from the match on Saturday was awful. Again, I mean, this was our gimme match, right? For really, if you think about, this is the first reverse fixture, isn't? Oh no, it's not, is it? Because we played Brentford twice.
Weirdly, yeah, we played Brentford.
But this was
twice
the first match that we played, wasn't it? The first home game.
Yeah.
Yeah, football is a tough watch at the moment, for sure.
The weird thing with that Burnley performance, I mean, it kind of reminded me of the frantic second half against Villa, except it was in the first half, and we looked okay.
Yeah.
But it just, for me, it's not so much like we scored a couple of goals, Romero and Van der Ven, weirdly, like doing a better job than our strikers, but it was the manner in how we conceded the two that we conceded. Like, really disappointing. Just, again.
Yeah.
It's almost like when we concede, our heads go down, we look flat, and we look kind of out of ideas.
We never seem to have control of a game, and
No.
the game management is terrible. We can't see a game out. On occasion, we'll get a late goal, but ultimately, how many times have we been in front and then we've either conceded late for an equaliser or a late winner against us? It's happened way too often.
And by the way, how good was the atmosphere from a Burnley perspective? It didn't look like we were up for that fight. You know, it looked really hard. Once the game was getting away from us, obviously I was happy we got a point, but with no disrespect to Burnley, to West Ham, to Bournemouth, when these types of teams are on these types of runs, just play Tottenham, you know, but we should be getting more from those types of teams. And this is the other thing, Graham. I've kind of resigned myself to the fact this manager isn't being fired. Right. I don't think.
I don't think that's because he doesn't deserve to be fired. I think that they're paralysed. I think the footballing management of the club are paralysed. They don't know what to do. They don't have a plan B.
Yeah.
But all of the things that you would expect an experienced football management organisation to have, like to have a succession plan for managers and for players, to have a fantastic scouting network. They must be paying so much money for scouts, and I see nothing shown from it. And then we get all this bullshit link, which we'll go through later on. We're linked with like mid-table players that you could see every week in the Premier League. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, and just going back to the setup of the club and form, right? I was sent the other day an alarming stat. So since Conte's rant after Southampton,
It's a very posh rant.
Yeah, a posh rant. We have accumulated less points than Fulham, Brentford, Palace, Brighton, and Bournemouth. I mean,
and I'm not surprised.
In between that rant and now, you've lost Son and Kane. It's not good, is it? And when you've got players...
Bearing in mind, that includes that 10-game run that we had at the start of Angie's reign as well, right?
What was that, 27 or 26 points?
Yeah, which is probably like a third of the points.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. But yeah, just back to the Burnley game. I mean, I thought, look, the one player that I would hold on to that's starting to show what we all hoped he would is Odegaard. Like, I think he's the only one I can pick out at the moment to say, yeah, he's looking quite good. He's looking willing to take on a player. He's looking to beat a player. He's got more of a final end product. But it's not good enough, is it? It's just not
Well,
good enough
I say
in terms of.
you might want him on the pitch, but you wouldn't want him behind the wheel.
Well, and then another, yeah, very, very good point, yeah, which we'll get into in a bit. Basuma, so we're now looking at a player who has come in from the
The
ashes,
cold.
the cold, but he's been really good, but he wouldn't be fucking playing if it wasn't for the injuries, right? So what
No,
does that
100%.
say? Yeah.
He wouldn't be in the squad.
Anything Frank is doing, he doesn't ever want to seem to go rogue. He never seems to want to make a change because we can all see that change and he's making. He seems to just be making changes because his hand is forcing to making those changes.
And I feel like anything good that happens is despite him, not because of him, right? Like the fact that our defenders are scoring, like the Van der Ven's goal isn't because of some tactical genius. He just basically larruped it in from a loose ball that came out after a corner, wasn't it? Or something, I think.
The ball's bouncing around.
And Van der Ven just gets frustrated and goes up the pitch and scores again. It's like his thing, isn't it? It's there's no patterns of play. We're not creating amazing amounts of chances. We're not even against really poor teams like Burnley. We're just not doing it. And I think if we can't manage a game against a team like Burnley, who frankly have been whipping boys most of the season, then what does that say about our ability to defend against better teams? And we will play better. And as we know, we're going to play better teams next 4 games. I don't see where we're getting a point in February at all.
Well, just coming back to the form, right, and how we perform against so-called poor teams, because Burnley are a poor team, West Ham are, Bournemouth haven't been good this season, etc., etc. Why is it so wildly different in the Champions League? Right.
Well, for me, that either the players have just decided they're going to get themselves up for that game, which actually is more worrying because it means that they are not they're not getting themselves up for the league matches, which it's almost like Ange gave them permission to not give a shit about the league last season, and that's just followed over into this season as well.
I think Frank or the leadership or whoever you want to kind of bucket into this statement I'm about to make is there's delusions there if they think we're going to win the Champions League like we did the Europa League, right? You're not getting to a quarters and a semi. Well, maybe Frankfurt was a tough quarterfinal, right, and we got a result, but you're not playing a semi-final of the Champions League against Bodo Glimt, right?
Well, look what happened to Liverpool last season, right?
Yeah.
They won the league stage and they went out in the next round.
Yeah, because they met PSG.
Yeah. So it's there's a lot of good teams left in that tournament.
Yeah, a lot better than us.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. It's like you touched on this last episode or the episode before that. I'm almost just numb to everything now as pertaining to Tottenham and what we do and don't do. Like, I've accepted he isn't being fired. I just don't think he is. I think it's going to be a write-off season again.
But it's not even that, is it? I mean, I'd take a write-off with an interim in place who at least gets a bit of fight out the players and gives us something to at least cheer about. At the moment, we're just. I feel like we're sleepwalking into the end of the season already.
Well,
it's only January.
Our guest that we had on the week before last with Ben being the German football expert, and it might have been off air we discussed this, and then you obviously did the interview with him. But a name that came up was Jurgen Klinsmann. Now, my view on someone like Klinsmann is I wouldn't probably want him that badly because he's an amazing coach or amazing manager. Ben had a bit of a differing opinion on that. He thought actually, he is.
Yeah, he's very positive about him.
Very positive about Klinsmann. But I look at someone like him coming as an interim just to give us a lift, almost similar to what Carrick's done at Man United.
Well, let's be honest. Even Harry Redknapp's not absolutely a great tactician, is he?
But by the way,
he's a manager, not a coach.
Michael Carrick up the road at Man United, beating City, beating Arsenal, playing some good football. He did play for us. He is an ex-player. Like, that would have been an ideal window. I would have been quite happy with that, like looking at what I'm seeing. But you're right. It's almost that interim. It's very worrying. The only noise we've heard out of the club, which was before the West Ham game,
is boos.
Well, that from Vinny about they seem to be so caught up in this vision of the future and what we're building and what we're going to become. Focus on the now.
My worry about that is that you don't, if you never get to the future because you trip over your own feet because you're not looking where you're going right now, then you've got a
Yeah.
problem, right?
And West Ham's approach to that game before the fixture, Jarrod Bowen came out and they were very much just focused on what's ahead of them, and that was the game against Tottenham. Like, they were talking about, we need to be better, we're going into this game, we're going to win, we're focused, and they did. And then our leadership is talking about the future. It's just, it beggars belief.
I think that the thing that worries me, and look at that Burnley team, right? They played like a team that are fighting for their lives. And we played like a team that's hoping it would just work itself out.
Yeah.
And that contrast is worrying for me, because if you can't match the intensity of a relegation side and we're getting closer and closer to them, if we get dragged into a relegation, let's say West Ham win their next 3 games and we don't pick up a point in February, and Leeds and Palace, they all pick up points, and we're literally dragged down into that bottom 4 or 5 teams. I don't think this squad hasn't got the stomach for a relegation fight.
And I asked it off air, would you include Leeds in the conversation about potentially going down? And your answer was, of course. Well, we're only 2 points ahead of them.
You would, but actually, this season, I think they'll be fine. At the beginning of the season, you would have included them.
They've turned the corner.
But now they're playing again. They've got far more fight in them than we do.
Absolutely.
Even West Ham have turned it around a bit, and they're starting to get some results.
It's a big, big concern, and the bigger concern as well on a broad level of the club, speaking from management and Paratici. What the fuck's he doing? Just what? Like, go? Like, why? Why have we?
It was almost sabotage. The fact that he, just before the window, he clearly had made his decision before we even started the window.
Yeah.
And yet, so we've basically gone in half-cocked. Probably half the business would have been, because he's supposed to be the senior team recruitment person. He's clearly not doing it now, is he? Because we've not been linked with a single Italian player, for starters.
Now, we could go back to whenever the episode was. It was a few months back when it was announced that Langer and Paratici...
I think we both said it wouldn't last, right?
Yeah, I said this will not last past March, and well, there you go.
But my thoughts were it would be the other way around. I thought Langer would leave. Because basically, if you look at the responsibilities, he was given the junior role, right?
Well, and you can't really argue with Paratici's record on players that he's brought into the club. Like, they've not been shit, but he's actually produced some decent players.
He's had a few duffins, but it's not a science, right?
But for the most part, it's been mostly positives and wins. But yeah, it's just like. So, going back to my point, we got a bit sidetracked.
Sorry.
No, that's all good. That's why we're here. But the statement from Vinny it flies in the face of what's actually happened since. Like, when he's talking about investment and I don't know if he said like a big window, and this was many months ago.
They were basically blowing smoke up our asses.
Yeah. So we've signed
100%.
We've signed a left back who's 19, who might turn out to be all right in a few years.
Who will, do you know what will be worse is if he ends up having to cover Udogie because we don't have anyone else.
Yeah.
And then Udogie gets injured. Yeah. And that guy's thrown to the lions, basically, because
exactly
in a hostile environment, you do not want to be a young kid making mistakes, a new team.
Well, this is it. And then you've got Conor Gallagher. Now, don't get me wrong. Conor Gallagher, for me, is a sensible, good bit of business. It's homegrown. He's energy. He's a ball-carrying midfielder. He's everything that we've lacked in terms of in the middle of the park. But it's not enough. It is not enough.
Nowhere near.
Like we still need a proper left winger.
Striker.
Yeah. I mean, it's a big, big worry. And then kind of looking ahead, we've got Frankfurt away. Now, is it my understanding we just need a point to qualify for the...
I'm not sure. I haven't looked at our position. I know that was it 5th we're in?
We're 5th with 14 points. I know, so Chelsea are 8th with 13 points. So
we need a win.
We need a win. And under normal circumstances, what is normal anymore, but if you look at a side like Frankfurt, there's a dead rubber to them. They've lost their manager recently. He was fired. They're not in great form. But it's all set up, isn't it, for us to go there and not get a result? Especially, I mean, who are we? We're missing. Who are we missing? Who is that?
14 players.
Yeah. So who? So no Van der Ven, right?
No Van der Ven, no Porro.
No Porro. So Odegaard, is
Gallagher
he okay?
can't play. Dragusin's not registered. Bissouma's not registered. Tell's not registered.
Are Odegaard and Mwani okay after the car accident? So they can play?
Well, they'll have to be, won't they?
Yeah.
Even if they have to put a couple of splints on their legs, they're going to have to play.
Yeah. Bergvall not available. Is
No.
Sarr available?
Should be, but I'm not sure. Because he wasn't involved at all on Saturday, was he? Wasn't even on the bench.
I have the app FOTMob, which I use a lot for football coverage in terms
Yeah.
of games and results. So they predicted, which I don't know if this will be the case, Vicario, Spence, Romero, Danso, Doggy, Gray, Polinia, Sarr, Odeberts, Javi Simmons and Solanke.
No, but is Polinia fit then? Because he's been injured as well.
No idea. No idea.
I don't think he's available. I'm going to have a quick...
Doubt. It just says knock, doubtful. But again, this brings me back to the full circle.
A Tottenham knock is a 6 months out with an operation,
Let's
right?
play a game with Van der Ven, apparently a knock, or who knows how long they're going to be out for. But again,
knock.
we're 3 days from the end of the transfer window, and we're going into a Champions League game away from home that we need to win. And the signings that we have signed, neither of them can play.
Yeah.
I don't know, mate. I don't know what to make of it all. Incredibly frustrating because I should be looking forward to that game and I should be thinking, oh yeah, we can go there and we can win, especially after the Dortmund performance. But we followed the Dortmund performance with that away to Burnley. We had Keith on last episode, right? And we were all kind of I was quietly confident that we'd go to Burnley and get a win and that we turned a bit of a corner with the performance against Dortmund, but it seems it's just we haven't. Do you think there's any part of the club that are waiting to see what happens with the Champions League to then make a decision?
Yes, 100%. I've seen that mentioned as well, that they don't want to commit money until they know. But does it matter? The worst case scenario, we're in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So as it currently stands, we've got at least 3 more matches in the Champions League, right?
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense to me.
So do you see us going to Frankfurt? Well, I thought we'd get the win against Burnley, and then the Dortmund game I thought we'd lose and we look really good. Well, I don't know what the hell we're going to get from this group of players and whoever is able to play. But can you see us going to Frankfurt and getting the win yourself?
Well, if you look at their form so far in the previous matches, they beat Galatasaray 5-1 at home, lost 5-1 to Atletico away. They lost 5-1 to Liverpool at home.
They like 5. So we're going to win or lose 5-1 then?
They had a 0-0 draw away at Napoli. They lost 3-0 at home to Atalanta.
They could see the lot of goals, didn't they?
And they lost 3-2 away at Karabag.
Wow.
So they've had this is why they have nothing to play for basically. And they sacked Dino Topmuller last week after they drew 3-3 with Werder Bremen, and I think as I understand it, it was a part of a just downturn in form.
Yeah.
Frankfurt's board cited a comprehensive sport and structural analysis. In other words, we were shit, so we got rid of him.
Yeah.
And a need for fresh impetus. New manager bounce. Oh no! So at the moment,
was he? I just looked him up.
Schmidt was the youth coach.
Yeah, okay. So he has connections to the club.
So he was the under-21s coach, and Alexander Meyer, who's his assistant, was the under-19 coach. So they've stepped in as an interim while they're hiring a permanent replacement.
And look, the one thing you'll say for the Bundesliga and the German fan base of the Bundesliga teams, it will make for a good atmosphere. That stadium will still be sold out. Because they will, they make a lot of noise. There'll be pride only to play for, but they will play for that pride, and it could be a tough game.
I've been in Frankfurt when there's been on a match day and been on the train and stuff, and it's
the sense I get from and it's a pity that we're getting back on, but it's a pity his connection wasn't great and we had to jig a few things. But I was going to actually ask Ben this. It seems on its face, German football, the fans don't let the result dictate going to have a good time. They're going to go and have a good time. They're going to make noise and they're going to make it for what it is, regardless of how bad or good they are. No, it's going to be
that tends to not happen certainly for us anyway. When things are bad, it's like the deathly silence in the stadium. All you can hear is the away supporters.
And I do think that's true of English football. I really do. I think English football.
I think there are teams where it's not like Palace are not like that.
Palace, mate. Yeah, I suppose you're probably right. I think maybe I'm just speaking from English football Tottenham fans. We seem to be dictated.
And I think I have a worse opinion as well. I mean, one of the things about our seats at the stadium is that we are right on top of the away supporters.
Yeah,
so they do always sound louder than.
Yeah.
So if you're at the other end of the stadium, you probably wouldn't think as much. But
yeah.
No,
so the team somewhat kind of picks itself because of who's available and who isn't available. Right?
I would say it would be something like we played against Dortmund, but Spence will now probably have to play right back unless he plays the young guy who came on right back.
Oh yeah, what was his because
But
he gave him a good half
Byfield,
an
is it?
hour.
Byfield?
Byfield, yeah, he got half an hour, didn't he?
Yeah.
So maybe the player that I really want to see get some minutes because I think he's very creative and is maybe crying out for what we need. Williams Barnett.
Yeah.
He's
Maybe
only
he could play on the
17.
left. Maybe he could play on the left.
Yeah, he's only 17. But again, if the result didn't have anything riding on it, you might see a player like that get a shake.
Yeah.
Not when you need a
No.
result. I don't think we're going to throw a 17-year-old to the wolves. I don't know what's going to happen, mate. I don't know. Like, maybe we get the win. Maybe we eke one out.
I can see a result. Right? I think maybe a draw is achievable. I mean, a win's we could do a win, but it wouldn't be because of anything that Frank did. I just don't think that any time we've looked good, it hasn't looked to me like the patterns of playing and the way we've been playing this season was because was why we won those games. But,
Yeah. Now, big game. It's from a viewing experience for me. It's a 7 a.m. kickoff Thursday morning for me, so I'll be watching it live. Assume you will have it on live, and it's the. I hadn't realised this stupidly. I got up this morning, went down to the beach at 6, thinking, "Oh, there'll be Champions League on today," but it's not. They're all played simultaneously.
Yeah, the last matches are all on the same time. Yeah,
and I remember last season the Champions League. It made for quite an exciting end to the league phase.
Lots of changing of positions.
Yeah, which adds a bit of jeopardy. Look, UEFA broken clock is right twice a day, right? Maybe they've got this about right in terms of how the jeopardy is now. So we'll see. It's all set up for hopefully a decent game of football.
What's your prediction for the match?
I think Solanke's going to score, and I think we're going to nick it 2-1. I've got a feeling Solanke scores.
I think I'll go 1-1.
But then 1-1 doesn't guarantee, does it?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't guarantee it, but we might sneak in.
Yeah, they're holding on to your seat to see what happens in other games. Yeah.
Well, maybe I'm selling a short, but I don't. And also, a thing about Frankfurt have been kind of backed into they've got nothing to lose in this match, right? At all. They have nothing. They could just throw. They might decide to play a weakened team because they want to focus on the league, or they might decide to throw everything at it for a bit of pride.
Yeah.
And with a new, I know that it's only an interim, but maybe they. As changing tactics, maybe we see a bit of bounce from the players. It's difficult to tell, isn't it? It's like a weird time. If they'd have had the old manager, you'd at least know what to expect a little bit, wouldn't you?
Well, this is it. Yeah. So I tell you what, we will know pretty quickly with this current Tottenham team within the first 15, 20 minutes what type we're looking at.
Yeah.
Like against Dortmund, we came out, we looked vibrant, we looked on the front foot, we were pressing, we were attacking them, we were taking players on. If that happened, brilliant, because Frankfurt clearly are there for the taking. If it doesn't happen, then we're passive, and then I fear for us.
Yeah,
and especially if Frankfurt get an goal. But I'm gonna lay my head and say 2-1 Solanke. I think I just got a feeling Solanke to score. Maybe we'll see.
Yeah. So so 1-1 for me.
Yeah, okay. But speaking of players, transfer news or lack of, I mean, for all of the bluster and the talk, it's January 28th and we've signed Conor Gallagher and a 19-year-old left back. Muwani.
And let's be honest, Gallagher was only a reactionary signing to Bentancur getting injured long term.
Notwithstanding that he's a very good signing.
Oh, yeah, I don't have a complaint, but it's not like we haven't made the squad better. We've made the squad the same as it was at the start of the window.
Arnie to Juventus, fine, just terminate the loan.
I don't. I think he adds absolutely nothing. And at the moment, maybe it would allow us to bring Tell back into the squad after to the Champions League squad. I'd rather have Tell, to be honest. I think he looks like he tries a bit harder.
Yeah,
I don't think there's much between them in terms of goal output. So I at least want someone who looks like they give a shit, which Muwani doesn't.
Speaking of strikers, so Muwani goes. There's heavily linked with a 40 million bid for Mateta, but I just.
But it's another mid signing, right? Is he any better than a fit Solanke? Really?
This is it, right? And this is where we are as a club now, in that we lost Son and Kane, and we're shopping
at Lidl again, aren't we?
Correct.
All of these links all these people we've been linked with, I don't think are better than what we've got in the squad at the moment, which is a worry because what we've got in the squad at the moment is playing shit already.
Yeah. So Mateta, 8 goals in 23 appearances, and last season was 14 in 37. So, but again, why are we doing this? Why are these links happening on January 20?
And let's be honest, these are players that you didn't have to send scouts to see these players. You could just turn the telly on and watch them every week.
Yeah.
So this isn't scouting. This isn't the recruitment team doing any work at all. This feels like we're panicking because we don't have anyone because Paratici's not come up with any names. Lang has only been scouting and looking at younger players, and we need experience in the team. We don't need any more kids.
And all the while, we've got our leadership making noise about big signings and investment,
which I think we can all agree was, frankly, pun intended, bullshit.
Yeah. 100%. It's a mess. And then the weird one, 2 keepers, Kinski to West Ham, loan with an option to buy, which seems really fucking weird. And then
they've also been linked with Hermanson, is it? To come back the other way. And the other one we've been linked with is Robin Roofs, is it? Sunderland?
I mean, why he would leave Sunderland,
and the other one is Sam Johnson from Wolves.
And he's at Wolves. And is he playing at Wolves or is he back up?
I don't think he's number 1. I think he's number 2. So, if it just smacks us
it just screams of
packing out the squad.
Putting your hand in and going, yeah, that'll do.
When you think about Kinski's, how many games has he played this season? 1, 2?
And for what
3,
it's worth,
max?
The games that I had seen him in, I think he's really good with his feet and distribution-wise. I like him.
I think he needs a run of games. He was one of the best young goalkeepers in Europe when we bought him. Lots of teams were interested in him.
Yeah.
But apparently, I guess Frank doesn't. The fact that apparently the loan would include an option to buy for West Ham.
Well, it's also
I thought maybe as a loan to get some game time would be one thing, but
the other worrying thing I have is on the players that might exit, and you can include Johnson in this, who went to Palace, is who's making those decisions then? Because if we're looking at a change in the summer, which, let's be honest, if we finish 15th, 16th, and we haven't won anything and we've looked poor, then maybe
this is why there's not been so much business, because we're thinking let's not invest massively now because we're probably going to rejig everything in the summer. Maybe this is about keeping your powder dry until the summer window.
And maybe, again, it's all maybes, isn't it? Because we don't know, because they don't come out and say anything. And I would be okay if they came out, as I've always maintained. If you actually came out without this fucking smoke of just come out and be honest with us and say, this isn't work, this isn't work, this isn't work. We're working on this, this and this. Bear with us. But they don't do that.
No. There'll be some bullshit video that'll happen after the windows close with Vinay and Langer sat on a sofa talking about how hard the January window was and how sad they were to see Paratici go.
Yeah.
And the squad will be no stronger and will be in the same position now. I mean, the likelihood is maybe in February or March we start to see some players coming back who've been out long term.
Yeah.
But it could be too late by then.
The other one is Oscar Bobb, but I heard he was going to Fulham.
Yeah, I've heard that they've made a serious bid. But you know what we're like. We're probably quite happy to do a gazump at the last minute.
Yeah.
I'm still not sure whether the whole Robertson thing's off completely. I know that maybe Liverpool gets a cover in.
But again,
for Kirkes.
Again, in the similar vein to the Gallagher signing, if we did sign Robertson, I wouldn't be opposed to it. I think it's a good bit of business.
Yeah.
But get it done. Figure it out.
But again, it's cover for the fact that Ben Davies is out, right, as well.
Yeah,
so
correct. Yeah.
But let's be honest, he's better than Ben Davies.
Well, sure.
In fact, he's probably better than Udogie.
I think
in a lot of ways.
Well, Ben Davies sadly for Ben Davies, he's played his last game for us.
I think so, which is sad.
Yeah, he's been a very, very good servant to us.
There was a story that he may have been going in January before he got injured.
Yeah, he won't now. I think where he'll end up, personal opinion, is I think he'll be signed by Wrexham. Probably in the summer.
I wouldn't be surprised at that.
We'll see what happens. Wrexham are onto a good thing there. They seem to be they seem to pay the money, and they're sixth in the Championship, so they could be in the playoffs. He's Welsh, should make sense. But yeah, it's all a bit bleak on the transfer front, unless all of a sudden we pull two rabbits out of the hat, and they're big
But
signings.
it's
I just can't see it.
it's mid-table business.
Hmm.
It's not. We're not looking to bring in when Man City do business, they only ever buy players that are going to improve the team. It's Semenya, Mark Gray.
Yeah,
Gay, sorry,
Gay.
Gray.
Yeah,
Like both of those players would walk into our team.
yeah, and it was talked about with Semenyo, wasn't it? And it's funny. A few months back, Paul Merson was asked on Soccer Saturday. I think the person said to him, like, where should Semenyo sign? Man United, Man City, somewhere else and somewhere else. And he didn't list Spurs. And then Paul Merson said none of them he should sign for Tottenham because he'd get minutes and he slots right in. But we were never in the race for him. As soon as
No.
a City's included in it, it becomes...
But this is the problem, is that we're at best second tier, aren't we?
Where's this 100 million that was going to be invested into all what we already had to spend?
It's sat in an ISA.
Yeah.
Earning interest.
It's just ridiculous. And sorry, I'm sorry for our viewers and listeners. It's pretty bleak, but I'm finding very, very little to feel positive about. Even like if I go back all the way to that window when we didn't buy anyone under Pochettino, at least we were playing decent football. And at least we were looking good on the pitch. And that was the season we made Champions League final, I believe.
So we talked about Paratici's definitely having no involvement in the day-to-day. It feels to me at the moment that he's on garden leave.
Yeah.
Somewhere, probably in Italy. Not seen him involved at all. I don't believe he's involved. And I think we said, if it was when we were talking before, Fiorentina have signed more players than Tottenham have this January window. They've signed 3.
Solomon being one of
including Mano Solomon. So it's like, I feel like he's already doing their business while he's waiting to go there officially. And then what is Langer doing? If he's having to step up, is the issue that all of Paratici's contacts have gone with him, and we don't all of a sudden all of our leads have dried up? Have we fucked this wind up so badly? I just don't. I mean, can they not see that we're closer to bottom 3 than we are to top 4? And actually, we're looking over our shoulder, not up at the teams above us, right?
But yet we've convinced a Conor Gallagher to sign for us, right?
Well, I can only assume he wanted to come back to London, and we were paying good enough money that it was worth his while.
Wonder if
he's bad for him, really. He's walked in.
Release clause.
It reminds me of that meme where someone walks in the door and the whole place is on fire. It's like it's like that, isn't it? But I just think that there's something fundamentally wrong with the entire football hierarchy at the club. Well, the whole hierarchy at the club, not just the football hierarchy at the club. I feel like it needs a massive overhaul. Who's the footballing people that are making decisions, right? I've heard stories about, I can't remember the name of the people now, but there's some guy who's the brother-in-law, I think, of one of the Lewis, and he's like the finance guy, but he's the guy with the purse strings.
But
so what does he know about football?
Who did we recently hire from the City group? Didn't we hire?
Yeah, but he's not. That's not his role. He has a footballing role. He's going to report to bloody Langer,
which is weird.
So like the other one is it? Who's the bloke who's the non-executive director, the non-executive chairman?
Charrington.
Apparently, I heard this on another pod last night. Charrington didn't know how many players there were in a football team. Seriously. So like, that's what we're dealing with here. And these are people making the ultimate decisions about what we do on the pitch.
Well, and
I tell you one thing. If we don't get this right in the next week, this squad does not have the bottle for a relegation battle. Does not.
No, I agree entirely. Just to have kind of somewhere in the middle on this, I was not Daniel Levy out or Daniel Levy in. I sat somewhere in the middle on, I would have liked to have seen him moved into a position where he runs the business side of things, because he does that extremely well. But is this a bit of fallout from Levy going?
I think they, like most things that seem to be happening at the moment, they're either too scared to make a decision because they don't know what to do.
Which Levy, you could never put out his door. He was very happy to make hard decisions.
So like, I think he would have sacked Frank by now. Even though he was his appointment, I think he would have sacked him because he would have seen the damage this is doing to our everything.
Yeah.
Like the fact that there's 10,000 empty seats at home games, like,
which is
that's not been talked about enough, right? That's a lot of money. Like the Champions League games with, 12,000 people not there, man. It's awful against big teams. Like the Dortmund game was it 52,000 people in the stadium? It's nothing.
Well,
nothing.
Bit of a plug for, I'm trying to get around to reading this, A Love for the Lane by Chris Slegg. I miss that stadium.
Yeah.
You know? But no, it's all quite, I don't even know what to say. It's all very negative and bad, but it's just all very, very odd at the moment being a Spurs fan. It's very odd because you've gone from the absolute highest of highs of seeing close to 400,000 people on the streets of Tottenham in completely euphoria.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll take us back to you and Josh when Josh recorded the last few minutes of you watching the Europa League final at the stadium in Tottenham. I listened to that footage and I was close to tears with emotion, right?
Yeah.
And we've gone from that to this. Odd. We've gone from finally winning something, finally feeling like, yes, the monkey's off our back. Let's kick on now. And I would have accepted not winning something this season and the next season if I could see progress. But I'm not seeing that. We've gone
far from it. We've gone further back. Yeah.
Yeah. We're completely further back. And it's almost like this, no one wants to talk of Voldemort, like Ange Postecoglou. It was a fucking mistake firing that guy because I would have taken another season of maybe mid-table or lower league. At least we would have been fun to watch.
Let's also be honest, right? We did, that second half of last season, we did bad, right? Ange had probably about as many injuries as we currently got.
Yeah.
But the difference was he lost most of his defenders. So remember, most of last season we were playing
Graeme Basuma at centre back.
Archie Graham as centre backs.
Yeah.
We still you didn't do great, but we've got our first choice back four most weeks.
And look,
but first choice back four and goalkeeper, and yet we've been just as leaky, if not more so.
And maybe I'm forever the romantic when it comes to football, but Ange Postecoglou, he came out and made that statement about second season winning something. He didn't say that in April. He said that in September. Fully backed himself, by the way.
Yeah.
And it just felt in his pressers, and it felt, despite the poor performances, despite the cupping of the ear to the fans, despite all of that.
That was just the inner Australian in him, wasn't it, though?
Totally. Like, I work in Australia. I deal with Australians every single day. They're good people, right? But they will fucking tell you how it is, and they will not suffer fools gladly, right? They're very direct and they can be very blunt at times, and that's what he is.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I felt that he had the club's interests at heart. When he says things like, all of those pictures are pretty much black and white from when we last won something.
Yeah.
You know?
And also, something else he said was absolutely true as well, which is, he said, I finished fifth season before, and but it means nothing. But winning a trophy is what really moves the needle. And he was right, absolutely right. Like, if we finished eighth this season but didn't win anything, still wouldn't be as good a season as last season.
Correct.
But even worse, finishing 15th, 16th this season and not winning anything at all will be a fucking disaster.
And the thing is, right, I'm pretty confident if you put Thomas Frank and Ange Postecoglou in a room, from an educational point of view when it comes to football and the inner workings and data points and modern football, Thomas Frank would probably have him hands down every single day. But what Ange Postecoglou has and had with our club was a connection. He somehow got players, and look, it didn't work in the league towards the end, but he put all his eggs in that basket of Europa League. He has a connection to the players. He had a connection to the fans. He was funny. He had a personality. Like, I'm not saying he's the best manager we've ever had. He isn't. But he fucking got it done.
Well, let's be honest. Some of the most enjoyable managers we have were not the best managers we ever had. Really, like Harry Redknapp didn't really win anything. We loved watching the football that he played.
Martin Jol
as well. Same, yeah.
I mean,
I'd rather have that with a connection to the team and the players and the coach than what we've got now, which is I could never felt more disconnected from my own football club and the players. And the manager.
I actually think I know what it is with Thomas Frank, and it's taken me a while to kind of come to this realization, but he's probably everything I hate about modern football. All the data points, overcomplicating it. You know what I mean? It's that, whereas Ange was a bit of a throwback.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think you're right. There's a bit of Brian Clough about him, a little almost.
Yeah.
But also he was very... He had his opinions on football, and he was not for turning, was he?
And the thing is, like, similar with Redknapp, I remember that famous story when we were playing Bolton at home, and Redknapp actually had just taken the job, but he wasn't fully in charge, and it wasn't until the second half he started to impose his decision. I think he was up in the stands, and then he came down. And I think it was Clive Allen was the interim, but Pavlyuchenko was going on. And I think Redknapp said something along the lines of, just go and fucking run around. Go and cause yourself a nuisance. Go and be a nuisance.
Yeah.
And it worked, you know?
Yeah.
It's these data points and God, it bores me to nauseum at times in terms of how football has arrived to that point. And Thomas Frank is...
Maybe the problem is it's getting too complicated for the players to understand.
Maybe.
The problem is that you need a different level of... You need more cerebral players who really understand it and implement it.
Man United, I would argue, a similar-ish position to us. I wouldn't say that our players are necessarily bad players. And I wouldn't say that Cunha, Fernandes, Sesko, the players that Man United have, are bad players. But to your point, is it the messaging? Is it getting them
100%.
to take on what...
Yeah.
And Ruben Amorim maybe ran into some of the same issues that Thomas Frank has, you know?
Yeah. I think there's a good chance of that.
But yeah, so look, again, apologies to our listeners and viewers. I don't mean to sound bleak and down and negative. But
is it
really
Monday is the window closes on the 2nd?
Good question. I wanted to look that up, actually.
Because you know what? I can feel a live stream coming on.
I was wondering the same, yeah. We might do a transfer window deadline special again. I know you and Josh did it because of the time. Okay, so it closes February 2nd at 7 p.m.
It's a shit time, isn't it, for you?
Yeah, that's not too bad. Yeah, so maybe I feel as well a bit of a live. Let's see what happens. Yeah, maybe a live special. We can review.
We can talk about all of the amazing stuff that's happened on transfer deadline days in the past, like the guy with the dildo.
Always a classic. Do we even want to cover...
Did you ever see the one that it was the old Tottenham training ground where someone turned up in a taxi with a sign in the side with like Mycon on it?
That was good.
I thought that was good.
Well, speaking of the next kind of episode factoring in the transfer window, we've also got Man City rocking up to our place this weekend, which again, with injuries and kind of players out, you would assume Gallagher slots in and plays, and one or two others. Again, we've got a good record against them, haven't we? Even when they've been great and we've not been so good. But I don't know what to make of that fixture, because it pains me to say it, but if we did lose, that means Man City close the gap on Arsenal.
Well, it's like, this is one that Ange would be angry about, but yeah.
I don't say that around Ange Postecoglou, but yeah. I don't know what to make of that, but Man City...
But then I will say that game that everyone moaned about, like the one last season before last, was it?
Yeah, we played well. We actually played well.
But this is exactly, we actually gave them a really good game. It was quite late that they managed to break us down finally.
Yeah. But the Man City game approaching after the Frankfurt game is PM on Sunday. So that'll be Super Sunday in the UK. So are you going to be going, or what's your...
I am undecided.
It's hard, isn't it? It's hard to say yes to that.
This is the thing at the moment. I'm like, it's a really arduous journey.
Yeah.
Last time I went, I had car problems, and I got home about midnight from a 3 p.m. kickoff. So like, I'm thinking, do I really want to put myself through that for what is frankly a toxic environment? We're likely to get a caning. I'm finding it hard to get myself up for matches. I feel a bit like the players.
Yeah. You could go for no reason other than seeing what could have been with Semenyo and Gahey.
Oh yeah, fantastic! Yeah.
Well,
unless we make a plethora of amazing signings and they all make their debuts on Sunday, but that's just not going to happen, is it?
Yeah. No. Or they see what shakes out with the Champions League, playoff or not, and then they bin him off. And Jurgen Klinsmann is there for Sunday in the dugout.
Oh, I'd definitely be there for that.
And then it's entertaining.
In my number 37 Klinsmann 1997 away kit.
Absolutely. He's done it twice, hasn't he? Then if he comes back, if we do get Klinsmann to come in the door,
I think this is it. The shirt I've got is from the second time.
Yeah.
So for the
because didn't he make his second debut away to Wimbledon? He scored 4 goals or something.
He did, and that was the day of my brother's wedding.
Yeah,
I was the best man, So I was getting fed the scoreline while we were.
Yeah. Because we didn't finish. Didn't we win like 6-2 or something? I seem to remember.
I can't remember the final score, but he definitely scored 4. I remember that.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, but
and that was really the turning point for the season, wasn't it? We were in
absolutely.
deep trouble until that point.
Could be the same, mate. Except he's going to be in the dugout. I don't know. I'm clinging to something to bring a feel good, and I'm clinging to the fact maybe the leadership.
We need something that's going to shake them out of this malaise that they're in. Something needs to change, and I don't think Frank's got it in him to turn it around. Just don't.
It's funny. I was listening to the Spurs Show podcast, which is it's been running years, and a great guest they have is Crackers.
Richard Cracknell. Yeah, I know him well.
And I really do enjoy some of his opinions. In fact, I should try and contact him and get him on. He lives in Spain now, I think. But,
he does, yeah, Tenerife.
Anyway, the whole point he was making.
Or Lanzarote, I can't remember which.
After one of the games, Frank was being interviewed. I think it was in the post-match press conference, or maybe straight after the game, and he was saying, after a certain decision, I'm trying to remain calm. And we're like, well, if that's not you fucking calm, like Rich Cracknell was saying, like, what? I'd hate to see, like, what is losing the temper? Like, he's just this all the time.
Always the one, my favourite memory from Jose. Do you remember the one where something happened and like it's him and the assistant were sat on the bench and they're like, and then they're really happy with themselves. And they suddenly realised someone should have got a card for that. And they got up and went over to the fourth official.
Yeah.
It's funny.
I mean, I'd love to be. We all would. I'd love to be a fly on the wall in the dressing room. I just don't see how his personality.
I tell you what, I bet his office is beige.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. I bet there's nothing on the desk. I mean, it's just he's that data-driven, analytical teacher type guy, and it's a shame because I wanted it to go well.
I wouldn't mind if that we were seeing something out the data, but we're not. I don't think we are at all.
Yeah.
And maybe the problem is that the issue isn't data, it isn't tactics. It's the fact that the players are just not bought into it, or they're not understanding it. It's not. It's a communication issue rather than a.
It's funny when we hired Postecoglou, I remember that doing the rounds of his speech for the Australian. I think it was the Australian under-21s. I don't think it was their senior team, but they were playing the tournament, but they were going into a final, and his whole thing was, do it for the people that got you here. Go and enjoy your lunch one, right? And Simon Jordan on TalkSport said this guy will come to the Premier League and he'll fail. Ultimately, he'll fail because that's all he's got. But then you listen to some of his speeches in the lead up to the Europa League final and then the one from the final.
Yeah.
You know what? It got us over the line. That man management and that tapping into somebody's inner belief got us over the line.
Yeah.
And it's just something for me Frank lacks. Like, I just don't see it. Like, he doesn't strike me as someone who can motivate and get the best out of us. But maybe I'll be proven wrong.
He's not shown me anything on a football pitch that makes me want to. I'm at the stage where, do we really want another season to pay another $1,000 for a season ticket to watch that shit again for another season? The answer at the moment is probably not.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to do something in the summer. Do you know that also, we haven't talked about this yet, right? So this is throwing this out there. This summer is a really shit time to change manager because, say we sack him at the end of the last game, unless we get someone who's currently in a club or available free, say Poch is our man, right?
Yeah.
He's not available till the middle of July.
Well, I had this conversation actually with somebody else here. This assumes a few things. This assumes that America go deep into the World Cup. Yes, he is contracted to the middle of July, but I think what will end up happening is, if he is our guy, he'll just come when America are eliminated. Now, it remains to be seen when that is. And we will pay some kind of nominal fee to get him out somewhat early. But you make a valid point. Let's say America...
Even worse than that, right, is we clearly are going to need a massive squad rebuild.
Yes.
And any player who's worth their salt is going to be at the World Cup.
Well, and whether it's Poch or not, let's say it's another international manager. Let's say it's Tuchel.
Yeah.
If America, for example, let's say the US did do well, and the host nation often does do well, and let's say they do get to the quarters or the semi-final, you're in it for the long haul because there's no pre-season then, right?
This is my point, is that someone needs time with these players, and they're not going to get it. This is going to be another shitty summer where they might have two
shots. Yeah.
All of the international players won't come back until the start of the season, basically.
Yeah. And then you're looking at very good players who we could be in the mix for going deep into a tournament, and then they're going to need to give them the break because that's what
Yeah.
happens.
They're given
It's
2 weeks or whatever it is minimum, aren't they, after?
It's less than ideal.
Yeah, I just feel like it's not a good summer to be completely overhauling the team and the manager and the coaching staff as well, because you've got. I'm assuming Poch would bring his guys with him, the usual suspects, if he were to come. If it is him, I mean, it could be anyone, right? I don't know.
Well, this is it. And it's almost like part of me, we talk about Poch coming back or Klinsmann coming in or Robbie Keane or whatever. And part of me normally would feel disingenuous to Thomas Frank because he's in a job and he's not been fired. But to your point, I am seeing nothing that suggests to me that he's the man for the long term. I don't know what others are seeing.
I'm at the point now where he's actually outstayed his welcome.
Yes.
He really has.
He'd done that when he was sipping
every
from a
week
Arsenal
makes
cup.
me angrier and angrier. It's like, but I can't do anything. No, we can't do anything about it. And the club seems to be quite happy to take him out to lunch and blow smoke up his arse.
We had a nice conversation about life and drinking from Arsenal cups. And,
about a conversation about winning games.
How about that?
Or where's my players in the transfer window?
Yeah. No, indeed. Well, I don't have a great deal else.
So we've got all that off our chests anyway.
Yeah. And look, maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised tomorrow morning. We're going to put a really good performance in. We're getting the win and we look convincing and we finish like 4th or something in Champions League.
And then we'll lose 4 games on the bounce in the league.
Yeah. And then we won't get anything for the next 4 games in the league. But as always from me, thank you for putting up with my negative thoughts and moaning.
I am conscious that it's been quite a negative pod, but then I feel that reflects the overall feeling within the supporters at the moment. I don't think there could be many people who are optimistic about the rest of the season. And
look, guys, viewers, listeners, if you do have a wildly different view and you're optimistic, get in touch. We'd love to have you on.
Tell us, or come on. I'd love to have people on because I could do with a lift. I really could. Come on and tell me how great it's going to be. I need it.
Come and tell us.
Come and give us a cuddle.
No, indeed. Well, as always from me, come on, you Spurs.
Yeah, thanks to everyone who's listened and watched. Please like and subscribe to the podcast to tickle the algorithm so we can get in front of more depressed Tottenham supporters. And do let us know in the comments what you think about our chances over both the next game and then the games in February. If you have the same view as we do or if you have a different view, please contact us. We'd love to see and hear from you. And as Glenn said, come on, you Spurs.
Let me be the one that you turn to, someone you can rely on, closer each day.